Hello, I'm the Longhorn Engineer, and today we're going to build a camera mount system for your Guitar Hero guitar. So let's say you're pretty good at Guitar Hero or Rock Band, and you kind of want to do a really cool video for you, but you know, you're by yourself, don't have a tripod. What else can you do? So what we're going to do is build a mount system that hangs off the back of the guitar and looks up through the guitar. So if we have your guitar body right there, and here's your neck, not drawn the scale of course. So what we're going to do is build this bracket that'll go on the back, then come up like that, and your camera will be mounted right there, and basically it will look down and see your entire area right here. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to get some kind of material to attach to the back of the guitar all the way up to the camera. I'm going to choose plexiglass, 1/4 inch plexi, because it's widely available and easy to machine. You can go with aluminum or steel. I would avoid steel as it rusts and is a lot harder to machine. Aluminum, make sure you get at least 3/16 inch. If you go any less, you'll probably get flexing when you move the guitar. As your camera mount, most cameras have a tripod mount, which is what we're going to use. And so there's going to be a screw right there that will just go up. So this is the general design for our brackets. What we're going to do is leave about 3 inches underneath the guitar so that we have adequate space to screw into the guitar. We're going to raise the camera 5 inches above the guitar. That way we can get good coverage of the fret buttons and stuff that are going to be way down there. Then we're going to leave about 3 inches out here for the camera to mount on. I'm using a piece of plexiglass that is 16 inches overall and is about 1.5 inches wide and is 1/4 inch thick. So what I have here is your standard 1/4 inch by 20 or 1/4 inch diameter and 20 threads per inch screw. This is a very common thread, and almost every single camera out there's tripod mount is this thread. Now I happen to have one of these in my shop here, but it's a little too long, so I'm going to cut it to about 1/2 inch long with my Dremel. Now be careful, because that will be very hot. So here's the plexiglass that all marked up. So this is where the 1/4 inch hole will go, so that the tripod mount screw will go into. Then I have 2 marks. Here is where it's going to get bent. And then over here is where I'm going to drill 2 5/32 inch holes to mount to the guitar. I'm using number 6 size sheet metal screws to go all the way through here and then into the plastic of the guitar. So what I decided to do is put these countersinks here. That way, when the screw goes in like this and to the back, it's flush. And so when you're playing the guitar, it doesn't rub up against your body, and these screws don't dig into your thigh. So this is the trickiest bit, is bending this plexiglass. Plexiglass is really rigid, so you can't bend it like metal. So you're going to have to heat this thing up and then bend it. Now if you've never done this before, I would recommend trying on a piece of scrap acrylic or plexiglass. Basically all I'm going to use a heat gun and just heat it up and bend it. Make sure to concentrate all your heat right down here, because we don't want a gradual bend, we want a sharp transition. So we want to heat just this area up and then bend it. And then what you're going to want to do is, while you're bending it, make sure you're at the right angle. Make sure not to heat it up too fast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it there for a bit and get a ruler and measure it. So I'll go do that right now. It needs to be about 5 inches. You just got to eyeball it. Needs a little bit more. You can see it's already stiffened up on me, so I got to heat it back up. That's the angle right there. So I'm going to just hold that while it cools down. And you just repeat this with the other side. As you can see from the test footage, the camera is tilted too high. So we're going to have to tilt the camera down a little bit by rebending the bracket. Your results may vary, and you might need to do a little more experimentation to get this angle just right. See, with the angle just right, we can see all the way down the fretboard and the strum bar. Now we're going to attach it to the back of the guitar right here. I've already opened up my guitar and made sure that there's no electronics here. But if you're using a different model, I would suggest to make sure you're not going to put a screw into a PCB board. Well, after some experimenting with the bracket, I realized that the bracket was too flimsy. This 1/4 inch plexiglass was not stiff enough, so I added this 1/8 inch piece of aluminum right here and screwed it into the bracket. This stiffened up the whole assembly. Now if you're using a lighter camera, then you should be able to get away with just the plexiglass, but the NEX-5 with the 18 to 55 millimeter lens was way too heavy. So let's go test it out. And here's some test footage of the angle. As you can see all the way from the strum bar all the way down to the frets. And I'll move this around a bit. You can see how it pretty much sticks to the plane of vision now. It doesn't bounce around or anything like that.